And you have generic resources here that increase turn after turn. Now you have 5 points to spend. So the longer you play, the faster the game is, because you have more powerful creatures, more powerful spells, and it speeds up the pace of the game. The idea, of course, is to win the battle by using all these various cards and positionings, and to add another layer of choice and strategy. We have the event cards, again inspired by Heroes. In the Heroes games, you have the weeks of something like Week of the Plague that will reduce the production of your creatures in your towns. So we have the same kind of concept here with the weeks off. The difference between the event card and the cards in your deck is that they apply to both players. So if you select one, it will do something to you, but also to your opponent. And that's the core idea of this game.
Я могу спросить, если are there any plans of making the offline card game, like in the real cards in real life?
If it's working, yes. Because it's another industry. So Ubisoft is not into publishing or board games or whatever. So it would be a deal certainly with a distributor. But yes, it could become a real card game.
Так, а вот я вижу в игре колоды, тут будет одна большая колода, доступная всем игрокам, например, или какие-то расы, цвета карт.
Will be the one big deck of cards for every player, or will be the different races, different sides?
We have 4 factions for launch for the first version of the game. Here they're playing Stronghold, the Orcs, the Barbarians. We are playing Necromancers, Necropolis, the Undead. We also have Inferno, the Demons, and Haven, the Knights of the Holy Empire. So already you have 4 different colors, races to choose from. And all with unique cards and unique strategies, of course.
And one player can use cards of only one race.
Only one race, but there are a lot of neutral cards or cards that can be shared between various factions. So it's just that some cards are really unique to a faction. You cannot play those cards if you're not if you've not selected the right faction.
Так, ну, теперь скажи, пожалуйста, вдохновителем стал именно Magic the Gathering, то есть как изначально благодаря его собственному успеху растущему, то есть у нас буквально за год они сделали много колод, сделали большой успех, или же просто сама идея того, что именно в серию героев, такую многолетнюю историю, следует перенести вот именно в такой формат, чтобы как бы увековечить бесконечных битвах.
While making while deciding to make the next Might and Magic game, were you inspired by the success of Magic the Gathering, or you just thought that you will need to make a game about Might and Magic in the card format?
Originally, the idea was really Might and Magic is a world, is a universe, a fantasy world with a lot of fantastic creatures and stuff and spells and magic. And we need a role-playing game, we need a board game, we need a card game. So the idea was really to start working on a game like that like years before. But of course Magic existed at that time, so I'm not saying we haven't looked at Magic, haven't played it, and don't know what it means, what is this game. No, of course we know Magic. But the concept was, let's say the mandate of the team was not take Magic the Gathering and put Might Magic creatures into it and it's okay. It was more like play Heroes and imagine it's a card game, and then do it. And that's what they did. So that's why we have the battleground and all those things like events, etc. So they don't come from Magic the Gathering, they really come from Heroes. So that's the idea. But of course the mechanics of I have a 20 health point and you have to destroy it, and I have 1 action per turn, it comes from Magic the Gathering. It comes also from World of Warcraft, the trading card game. Of course they've played all the collectible card games that exist, and they've taken some mechanics from one or the other. But the overall concept is really Heroes as a card game.
А вот многие карточные игры настольные, они живут за счет постоянного ввода, за счет систематического даже ввода каких-то новых колод, новых карт и так далее. Уже есть какие-то планы по обновлению, может быть, по вводу новых карт?
Many board games are being updated frequently. New cards, new decks, new heroes. What are the plans regarding new decks and new cards in Duel of Champions?
Yeah, of course, it's critical that they have already an extension that is almost ready. So it will come very soon with the original game has 300 cards or so, the extension have 200 or so, and regularly there will be new contents, and not just big chunks, but also because there's a story in this game. It's easy also to add like a small bit of a story, like let's say a mini season, if you wish, and a couple of cards related to that, and then do it like maybe not every month, but very frequently. That's the plan for the development and the support of the game.
Ну, система распространения и, собственно, планируемая дата выхода.
How are you going to distribute it, and what are the dates of the release?
The game now is available in beta, open beta in many countries, France, England, Poland, and Germany, and it will be soon in Russia. So it expands from one country to the other, slowly, gradually. So Russia is next, and you just access the website and you play it. So you can play the English version, I think.
Yeah, you can from Russia. Yeah,
from Russia you can already.
Планируется распространение через вот Steam конкретно?
Are you planning to use Steam as a platform?
No, we don't need that. No, not for this game.
Just
You download the client.
Just to play, да?
Just you play accounts.
Just you play. You need your Uplay account, and you download the client, and then you install it and you play. So we have, just to give you an idea about how easy is it for us to do extensions, we have 4 factions in this game already, but there are 9 in the world of Might Magic, so still a lot of room for adding some new races, factions, creatures. And the idea with Duel of Champions, and you will discover it while you play the single player campaign, is that we can, like for Assassin's Creed, we will travel in different time periods of the world of Asha. So even with the same faction, we can have, for instance, the Knights of the Holy Empire. In this game, it's at the time of Hero 6, but in a future extension, it could be at the time of Heroes 5, or at the time of when the Empire was created, so centuries before this time. So we really plan to play both with the factions and with the history, the timeline. So we have, in terms of creating new extensions, we have an infinite number of possibilities that is almost infinite. At least sufficient for many, many years. So we're not too scared about coming short in content. Unless you have other questions about Duel of Champion, I will conclude with oh yeah, I have another important thing to say about it. This game is cross-platform. You can play it on PC or iPad, and it's the same game. So you can really start your game on PC, continue playing on iPad with the same Uplay account, play with an iPad in the same room as your friend who is on PC, and no problem. And then the other piece of news that is related to Might Magic is the announcement we made yesterday about Hero 6. So apart from those online free-to-play games, we're still working on, let's say, classic retail games, even if they have a strong online component. So this is the case for Hero 6. Since the game release, we have offered, let's say, 8 patches to the community to fix a lot of things that needed to be fixed in the game, but also to add new content like the new town screens or revised balance and stuff. And recently 2 adventure packs, Kragak's Adventures and Sandro's Adventures, and now they're available, the 2 of them together, bundled in a retail version for Russia. So this is something that you can buy as soon as you leave this room. But also we announced yesterday exclusively for ИгроМир that we're working on the standalone expansion for Hero 6 that will be released in spring of next year, and that will feature the dungeon faction, the Dark Elves. So if you're familiar with the game, if you played Heroes 5, the dungeon in Heroes 5 were the Dark Elf dungeon faction led by Raylag. And it's the same case for Hero 6. It's still Raylag leading the Dark Elves as the dungeon faction, but it's set in the same time period as Hero 6, so it's 4 centuries before Heroes 5, meaning it's a very young Raylag that is basically trying to unite his people because they just separated themselves from the Sylvan Elves, the Forest Elves, and they made a pact with the Faceless, the Angels of Darkness, if you wish. So they're embracing the darkness, dark magic, they're living underground, and Raylag is leading them to become a nation. So that's the story that will be told in this standalone.
немного такой отвлеченный вопрос от темы, но касательно серии в целом. Как бы это возвращение к классическому формату игр, то есть карточной, и уже в «Мече и магии» уже была одна такая игра, называлась «Арканум». Планируется ли хоть какое-нибудь ее дальнейшее возрождение? То есть, как бы, потенциал на него очень великий.
Арканум?
Да.
Is there any plans?
Well, there's a game. Well, we're reviving the old school titles and stuff like that. There was a game called Arcanum, and are there any plans on reviving it, on making a sequel or something like that?
To Arcanum, I'm not sure it was a recent game. It was a gas-powered game.
Ну, в серийке это одной как бы было изначально.
Arcanum, Magic Obscura, etc.
Нет, это не относительно детища выходцев из Интерплея. Это игра, собственно, состоит из башни и стены. Такая же карточная система.
Arkham Age.
Да, Arkham
Age. The card game, alright.
Сам переходи.
Okay, sorry. No, we discussed that. It could have been a possibility, but if we do an Arkham Age one day, it'll be part of a Might Magic role-playing game. It won't be a separate game. It will be like a mini game in a role-playing game that will be more ambitious and such. Yeah. So Might Magic Raiders, it's developed in Ubisoft Chengdu in China. The concept of the game is really that it's an action RPG with a strong emphasis on cooperation. So you play with a team of 3 other players, so 4 total. You go into short raids, that's why the name is called Raiders. You do a raid that will last for 20-30 minutes, consisting of 4 different battle maps, ending with a boss fight. And the idea is that you hack and slash your way through throngs of monsters, and in the end you fight the boss, you and your 3 friends, and then you pick the loot, and you go back to the main lobby, and you can sign up for another raid. There's a story that connects everything, so you can do the story raids to get the story progressing. You can also do the optional raids to just grind, level up, etc. A free city called Hammerfall. In the world of Might Magic, the free cities are apart from the factions, the big nations. So they're a little apart, they do their own things in their own ways. We have free cities for the pirates, we have free cities for the raiders. This is Hammerfall, in which they basically go and grab legendary artifacts, come and sell them, and get some money, and then go back and drink themselves to death, and then go raid some more. So that's the concept of this city. But at the beginning of the game, Hammerfall is being threatened by demons who appear from nowhere, it seems. And the raiders are here to defend their city, because it's the basis of operation. That's where they have sanctuary, that's where they can sell their loot. So they have to defend it, not because they're heroic, not because they hate the demons, just because it's their business, and they don't want the demons to interfere with it. So you play with these raiders. Of course, you will discover a lot of things on the way, like that Hammerfall was built on the ruins of an ancient city with powerful magic weapons that the demons, for some reason, want to destroy or gain. And so there will be the story that will be unfolded with all the different chapters. And it's connected in a way to Hero 6 because it's set at the same time period. So some important characters from Hero 6 will appear in Raiders. Some important characters in Raiders will appear in other Might Magic games. And eventually the story being told in Raiders will give you some elements that will help you find more exciting the stories told in the other Might Magic games like Product Champions or Hero 6 or Heroes Online. So really we are is the world of Ashan and the stories that are told in it, and all the games being released right now around Hero 6 share the same story cycle, so there are a lot of connections.
Такой вопрос, если возможно, можно ли рассказать о социальной составляющей игры, то есть будет это деньги, некая интеграция?
Will there be any social interactions in the game, guilds, clans, and so on?
We expect a lot of interactions to happen, but the game focus is on cooperation. So if guilds are created, it's basically guilds of friends, of people who play together and who want to be number one in how fast they loot, the best gear they have, etc. So that there won't be PvP guilds, for instance, for launch, because this is not a feature that is currently supported by the game. But it would be more similar to maybe MMO guilds, in which players get together to trade, to support each other, to help their friends level up, to get them to the level. The other members of the community that they're the best guilds. Yes, something like that.
Такой вопрос. Платформы
will be Raiders ported to other platforms like Android, iPads, Macintoshes.
Да, и сразу же вопрос к Erwan, то есть на какой стадии вообще игра?
Yes, and regarding Raiders,
Когда там заботал?
yeah, what are the dates of the release?
So there's no specific date for the release of Raiders. Being a free-to-play game, there's not really a release date. It won't be a box that you can buy. It's really an online game, but you can expect it early next year. That's all I can say. For now, I have no specific date to give you. It will be first available on PC. We're considering the idea to port it on other platforms, but for now it's only the PC version being developed. But the technology is flexible enough to let us do funky stuff with it. Heroes Online is a project being developed by Blue Byte, so Ubisoft Blue Byte, and Related Design. Blue Byte are the guys who made recently Settlers Online, and it's the same kind of game. It's a free-to-play online game in a browser. So you don't have a client to download, you play directly in the browser. And Related Design are the guys behind the Anno series, the latest installments at least. So those two companies work together to create Heroes Online, which is the Heroes experience, but online in a browser and as a free-to-play game. What it means is that it's very faithful to the spirit of the Heroes series. You still play a hero who is a general, lead an army on the battlefield. Combats are played in turn-based battles, very tactical, strong emphasis on strategy. You will have to gather resources on the adventure map to build a city, upgrade the city, hire the troops, enlarge your army, and defeat your opponents. But you play a single hero, not many, and the adventure map is real-time for you to explore it, like say, naturally. It's better for an online game, and especially a game in which you have other players that can help you. And there is a feature that they've added to the Heroes experience. It's the fact that you can invite friends to fight with you. So this time on the battle map, you will be able to play with two different heroes, each one bringing a portion of his own army. So you combine your forces against an opponent that is too powerful for a single hero and army. So that's the online cooperative part of the game. For the rest, it feels very much like a traditional Heroes game if you see it playing.
Вопрос по Settlers можно задать?
Can we ask you a Settlers question regarding Settlers Online?
I'm not sure I can answer, but should.
Будет ли
онлайн?
Да, не, именно онлайн. То есть будет ли развиваться? Мы просто как бы играем, у нас очень много пользователей играет в Settlers Online, мы хотели бы знать, то есть будет ли улучшаться графика. То есть там можно будет увеличивать там домики, смотреть там как живут, бегают жильцы там.
Ну это так уже можно.
Но на самом деле это не так как бы детально. Да.
Are there any plans regarding improving the Settlers Online graphics?
Oh, I cannot answer for them, but I don't think they will totally revamp it anytime soon. Yeah. It will, yeah.
Логично.
Хорошо. Все. Супер.
Спасибо.
Спасибо.